Early in 2016, I was handed the keys to this Audi A4 1.4T FSI to drive and test for a year. And while many people can't really tell the difference between the old and the new A4, I happen to think this is quite a handsome looking car, especially with that optional S-line body kit and those large 18-inch alloy wheels. I must say one other aspect that took some getting used to was the sheer size of the A4. It's nearly 5 meters long and has no sensors in the rear bumper, which means that maneuvering in tight spaces and parking was always a little bit tricky. And I have to wonder, why would you leave out sensors in a car costing this much? Thankfully, Audi lavishes lots of attention on interior treatment. The A4's cabin is brimming with high quality materials and finishes, such as the leather covering on the steering and the seats, as well as this aluminium finish on the console, fascia and on the door trim. The one thing I really did enjoy about this car was the optional virtual cockpit, which is this high definition full color display screen that allows the driver to choose exactly what he wants to see. I think it's very cool. The one thing I didn't like, however, is this protruding screen atop the fascia, which you can't retract, though you can turn it off if you really want to. In the rear of the cabin, the A4 isn't class leading, although the occasional passengers I had back here didn't complain about a lack of space. From day one, I realized the A4 is really suited to the open road with its great ride quality and easygoing powertrain with automatic transmission. Of course, some of my colleagues realized the same, and whenever I was away on work assignment, they would grab the keys out the safe and take the car on weekends away. On the daily commute, I realized this one issue with the A4's transmission was its reluctance to pull away. It is quite lazy to engage, and it's just something I learned to live with. That is until I drove another VW Group product with the same transmission, and then I realized how slow the A4 really was. So I wrote about it in one of my monthly updates in Car Magazine. Audi SA read the report and asked me to bring the car in for a software upgrade. When the car came back from Audi, it felt much better on pull away and definitely better on downshifts. It's something I recommend all A4 drivers look into. The relatively small engine size of just 1.4 liters was never really an issue. And it's only under really hard acceleration on the motorway that the A4's engine was found lacking in a little bit of punch. The 1.4 TFSI produces 110 kilowatts and 250 newton meters of torque, which is more than most people will probably ever need. Of course, the upside of having the small engine is that fuel consumption is really good. Over the last 16,000 kilometers I've used this car, the fuel consumption has been 8.5 liters per 100 Ks, which is pretty impressive for a turbo petrol car of this size. I've got to admit that my last year spent behind the wheel of the A4 1.4 TFSI was a little more enjoyable than I initially anticipated. It does have its flaws, sure, and perhaps it isn't as dynamically engaging as some of its rivals, but it is an excellent executive sedan. If you were shopping for a premium model in the segment, you'd place it right near the top of your list, right up there with the BMW 3 Series and Mercedes-Benz C-Class. Though which car you go for depends very much on your character. And I think the Audi really acquits itself well against that company, and it really should be high on your shopping list.